Guys, it's time to talk Hopium. It's time to talk Assange. It's time to talk reality. It's time to talk Trump. And here's the deal, okay? Everybody knows I'm doing the Making Sense of the Madness show. And it's also, pretty conservative type network. A lot of mainliners on there. Definitely a lot of God stuff, and that's fine. Everybody knows that I encourage people to practice their faith, no matter what that might be, right? And I think that's an important thing. I think that we can't just sit there and take God out of the equation, even if you are like me and have kind of more of a agnostic viewpoint. That's number one. Number two, how do I put this? It has some people on it that want to make excuses, have severe blind spots, and in my opinion, just are not based in reality. Okay? I want everybody to know out there that I believe they're actually going to convict Trump. I don't see any way around it right now. I think that the D.C. Court system is obviously beholden to an agenda in which they no longer want a government for and by the people. They want authoritarian dictates from a puppet class that they are constantly in charge of. And love Trump, hate Trump, whatever, he defied a lot of that. Far from perfect. I always say that, far from perfect. And I constantly talk about his failure with Julian Assange, right, Smoke? That's right. I constantly talk about that failure with Julian Assange because it's such an important one. It's a basic one. We need a free press. We need the ability to expose the crimes of our government, period. And today, it'll air later today, I don't get to challenge some of these people because I have a time limit. And I basically got to keep everything moving along. I certainly challenged these guys on certain things. But at one point, I had an individual say that basically they believed that there's already been a deal cut with Assange. Okay? That's not real. That's not real. Okay? Just like it's not real that Joe Biden's going to jail. It's not real that Hunter Biden's going to jail. It's not real that Merrick Garland is going to jail. None of that's real. Okay? And I don't know how to get that across to people that really believe it. There are people that really believe it. Like, for instance, when I talked about the fact that Trump sent Rohrabacher out to speak with Assange and basically try to get him to say that Seth Rich was the source and it was not Russia for the DNC emails. That was the purpose. And Assange refused. Well, he got drugged out of Ecuador and he got put in Belmarsh. That's where he is. Assange is in Belmarsh. Okay? Anyone who thinks different, anyone who thinks that's window dressing, that's not real either. Okay? And it's dangerous to think that way because they want him to die there. They really don't want him to be extradited to the United States. They'd rather not have that messy trial, although they will, if they have to. They'll put on a nice show trial. They want him to die. They want him to be an example of anyone who would dare to publish documents without commentary, okay, that are 100% legitimate 100% of the time and expose corruption on all sides. And man, when I was covering the protests in December and January, the Stop the Steal stuff in 2020, you had people that were like, Assange is safe in Guantanamo Bay, deals have been cut. There's no deals that have been cut. Let's just listen. There are no white hats in control. What are you talking about? It's beyond words ridiculous to believe that. There is no historical precedence recently to show that this class of people has any accountability whatsoever. None. None. Stop with the hopium. Gear up to try to fight for what's about to go down. And what's about to go down is they're going to try to not only criminally charge Trump, because they've already done that, okay, they're going to try to put him in prison. Like, why don't people see on the writing on the wall is the new narrative is Trump can't be the nominee. They're going to try to rig the RNC as much as they can. They'll probably be able to do it. DeSantis will run. DeSantis will lose. He will not win. I do not think that they're putting DeSantis in. And, I talked to somebody who thought that, DeSantis was the guy, the next thing in the red-blue thing. I go, that's not it. Whether you like DeSantis or not, I think his stance on children's transgender surgeries alone disqualifies him from the predator class, allowing him to become the president of the United States. They don't want a federal law. That agenda is pushing forward, okay? 100%. And because it's pushing forward, they can't allow DeSantis to be there. So what does that mean? Well, I don't think Biden's being impeached either. I think that they're setting this precedent with the documents so they can threaten impeachment down the line, and Democrats can act concerned, but they'll just allow him to step down. And when he steps down, they're not putting Kamala Harris in charge. They're going next level evil. They're going Newsom. It looks like Newsom's their boy. Newsom's the dude. So, I had to get that off my chest. I do these broadcasts, and sometimes the people I'm talking to, I think a lot of them are obviously well-meaning. I think some of them are just extremely naive. That's certainly part of it. But I think we've got to be in a place called reality. It's a big thing. And when you're not in a place called reality, that doesn't mean you don't get things wrong, right? A lot of people will say that I have too much hopium myself in regards to Trump and his administration and what he's about, or Tucker Carlson. Okay, it's constructive criticism. I appreciate it. It's not lost on deaf ears, but I feel like with a lot of these people it is. There's this constant new thing, and they're setting up the infrastructure so when Trump gets back in, he can put him in jail. No one's going to jail. No. They're putting regular folks in jail. All right, people that challenge the system. Those are the people they intend to go after. That's the reality. Now, that being said, I had a great interview that aired yesterday that I think is top-notch. Billboard Chris, I spent an hour with him on the transgender issue that also briefly touches on the transhuman issue. I was very happy that Billboard Chris was aware of Martine Rothblatt. So that discussion I'll put up probably around 6 o'clock this afternoon. Usually I wait 24 hours from its premiere over at ampnews.us, ampnews.us. That's where you can find me Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. in a blue blazer, talking smackles and doing it big. I am also always available 9 to 11 a.m. 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern time, Monday through Thursday. And we still got 2 premium broadcasts coming up for the weekend. Got to hash those out. Sometimes they come a little later in the week because it's tough to get people to commit throughout the week. I hope you did enjoy the David Whelan interview. And remember, you can support the broadcast by doing redvoicemedia.com/Smokey. No, I'm kidding. /uncensored. And join in for $1 for the first week, or $10 a month, or $100 for the year. Lock it in and support the broadcast. The other links are down below. Guys, I just want to say I couldn't do it without you. I'm feeling really good lately. I know I went on air on earlier this week and said I had a rough one. I had a rough one this week. But overall, I'm telling you right now, getting outside, connecting with nature. I mean, look how gorgeous it is outside right now. Awesome out. Like, say what you want about Iowa. It's pretty cool. You know, pretty good. So, thumbs it up, subscribe, share, and we'll see you on the flip side.